The bombing in Oklahoma City was an attack on innocent children and defenseless citizens. It was an act of cowardice, and it was evil.
April 19th, 1995, a day that will forever live in the hearts of Oklahomans.
I remember it vividly like it was yesterday.
168 people, including 19 children, killed.
He had handed me a ribbon with a little angel on it.
It affected the youngest among us.
I'd been asking, where's Daddy, where's Daddy, where's Daddy? She was like, Daddy won't be coming home, Daddy's gone.
Forever changing the lives of our first responders.
I'm praying that you're safe today. He said, because you're going to be searching for my daughter.
And those who still work with us here at KOCO 5 remember the 168 killed on that Wednesday morning.
John pulled out a tricycle from the area where the kids were, from the daycare center. Of all the things I remember from the bombing, and I have some very vivid images, I can still see him holding that tricycle.
Today, we remember the victims.
Our dad, Mickey B. Maroney.
We remember the families.
This time of the year is always hard for all of us.
And remember the survivors.
You have reminded us that we should all live by the Oklahoma standard.
Today, we honor the 168. Their legacy lives on through a resilient community that has vowed to never forget.
21 years, that's how long it has been since a car bomb destroyed the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building. 168 lives lost that dark day.
I want to take you live to the ceremony on sacred soil happening right now.
Good morning, and thank you for being at our remembrance ceremony. I want to especially thank the DEA special agents for that powerful bagpipe procession. There's no finer way to start a ceremony than with them. My name is Mike Turpin. I'm the chair of the Oklahoma City National Memorial and Museum Board of Trustees. I'm very proud and pleased to be here this morning with you. Especially want to thank the people of First Church who have been our partners for 21 years. And thank you to them for once again opening their doors to us this morning as we moved inside instead of outside for pretty obvious reasons. This sanctuary was built because of what happened on April 19, 1995, as this land-run church was determined to rebuild rather than succumb to the forces of evil. So you're sitting in a very special place. Several special guests are with us here today. In fact, you're all very special guests. But specifically, Assistant Attorney General John Carlin, National Security at the U.S. Department of Justice. John Carlin oversees the National Security Division at the Department of Justice, which helps to coordinate domestic terrorist prosecutions and co-chairs the Attorney General's Domestic Terrorism Executive Committee. Assistant Attorney John Carlin. Also with us, Undersecretary Suzanne Spalding, National Protection and Programs Directorate at the Department of Homeland Security. She oversees the coordinated operational and policy functions of the Offices of Cybersecurity and Communications, Infrastructure Protection, Biometric Identity Management, Cyber and Infrastructure Analysis, and the Federal Protective Service. A lot of responsibility, obviously. Both the Assistant Attorney General and the Undersecretary are participating in the second annual National Summit on Homeland Security at OCU Law School here today. I appreciate them being with us. It's always good to have our federal brothers and sisters with us, as they have been from the very beginning. Locally, I shrink the universe to where we live right now. Police Chief Bill City and Fire Chief Keith Bryant are with us this morning, as they always are. Governor Mary Fallin and First Gentleman Wade Christian, my good friend Wade Christensen, are with us, as they always are. Also with us is Governor Frank Keating, who has a very special relationship with this sacred ground here and across the street. Mayor Mick Cornett's with us once again. You'll hear from him in a few minutes. Members of the Billings, Montana Chamber of Commerce are here studying the Oklahoma City story, if you will, the Renaissance the whole country has seen right here in Oklahoma City. And most importantly, our survivors, family members, first responders, law enforcement, and friends of those who were killed on April 19th, 1995. One person not with us today is our good friend John Hanson, who passed away this past Friday. John was the spokesperson for the Oklahoma City Fire Department at the time of the bombing. In the days and months following, he became a reassuring voice. We remember John this day, and our thoughts are with his family, friends, and fellow firefighters, many of which are with us here today. As an additional remembrance of the rescue efforts, a restored 1995 Oklahoma City fire truck will be parked in front of the museum today. A poster-sized card of former Assistant Fire Chief Hanson will be at the truck for visitors to sign, and that card will later be given to his family. So please participate in that opportunity when you go across the street. Someone who recognized John's talent with the media in keeping everyone informed after the bombing is our own Oklahoma City mayor, whose career back then was in television. Like so many of us, he will tell you this day changed his life 21 years ago, forever. And since then, he has been part of our city's transformation from tragedy to triumph, with a culture he describes as one that, I quote, dares the world to pull us apart. The mayor's always believed that 21 years ago, our darkest hour became our finest hour in how we responded. The Oklahoma Standard. It has been this spirit that the mayor has talked about. It's been the spirit of this community the past 21 years as to why he personally, I'm talking about Mayor Mick Cornett, chooses to remember April 19th, 1995, rather than ever forget. And that's what we're about here today. We're here because we choose to remember, never forget, always remember. He joins us today to read our mission statement. I'd like to welcome to the podium our own mayor of the great city of Oklahoma City, Mick Cornett. I'm turning the page right here.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a special privilege to be before you today. Thank those of you who came out this morning, those of you who might be watching us on television at home. I can remember that it rained on this date 21 years ago, and it is so appropriate that we have returned once again to remember those that we lost. I want to read the mission statement of the memorial to you, and I ask you to listen to each and every word and how these words continue to resonate here years after they were first written, but as they continue to remind us of why it's important to gather on this specific date. We come here to remember those who were killed, those who survived, and those changed forever. May all who leave here know the impact of violence. May this memorial offer comfort, strength, peace, hope, and serenity. Will you please join me now in 168 seconds of silence?
Let us pray. Almighty and ever-living God, we come to you this day with hearts full of emotion as we recall the events of 21 years ago, which not only changed our city, but our nation and our world as well. We remember with heartfelt love and devotion the victims who lost their lives on that sacred ground across the street, and the lives which were changed forever. We remember with fondness all those who helped to restore and rebuild after that fateful morning, which was filled with hope and beauty that tragically turned dark. Today, with resolute hearts and minds, we come before you asking for your blessing. Send forth the power of your Holy Spirit to lead and to guide this great city and state, that with resolve in our hearts, we may work to end all violence in our society, in our lives, and indeed in our world, that all terrorism in all forms, be they homegrown or international, may be laid to rest, that mankind may truly work for peace and harmony amongst all peoples, that motivated by the blessedness of your divine Son, the world may truly know the peace he came to bring, and in doing so may love one another as brothers and sisters and work to establish your kingdom on earth until the day of days dawns and all is made just and right. In this hour, Eternal Father, come and abide with us, be present to us, and make our hearts, which still ache with the loss of life, still have the pain and sorrow, and still have the challenges of this tragic event, be made whole. May our remembrance of this day be a means of honoring those who went before, acknowledging those who bravely served, and help us who remain to comfort one another with the assurances of hope until we are united with our loved ones and with you, the eternal God, who lives and reigns supreme as the God of all peace, abiding in your glory. We ask these things in the name of him who is peace, Jesus the Christ, who lives and reigns with you in the unity of the Holy Spirit, one God, forever and ever. Amen. Now will you please stand for the presentation of the colors by the combined honor guards of the Oklahoma City Police Department, the Oklahoma City Fire Department, and the INSA departments, followed by the singing of our national anthem by Carmen Bond.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free
Thank you, Carmen, for your beautiful tribute to our country. Thank you, Father Oswald, for providing the blessing. Parenthetically speaking, if you don't mind, many people who visit our memorial and museum walk across the street to St. Joseph's Old Cathedral, where Father Oswald is the pastor. Their statue, "And Jesus Wept," stands as a remembrance to April 19th, 1995. She spent many days at this site as our lieutenant governor, comforting family members, participating in briefings, and today she returns as our top state official. Please welcome Governor Mary Fallin.
Thank you, Mike. We appreciate your leadership at the Oklahoma City Memorial and for all that you do to raise money to make sure that our memorial is very successful. And I also want to thank the board of directors of the memorial for their great work, and the executive director, Kerry Watkins. Kerry, we appreciate you. And we are very honored today to have a very special guest back in the state of Oklahoma that provided a steady hand of leadership and courage and compassion at a time right when Oklahoma needed that, and that is Governor Frank Keating. Governor, welcome back. "21 years ago, a moment that will forever have changed Oklahoma we will never forget. What happened on April 19th, 1995. And as Mike said just a few moments ago, just about 30 minutes ago, we just finished our annual Metro Prayer Breakfast in Oklahoma City this morning. But 21 years ago, that same morning, April 19th, 1995, we had the Metro Prayer Breakfast at the Cox Convention Center with over 1,000 people who were down there that morning. And I remember it so well, and Governor Keating was there too. But a moment when we were going about our regular activities of the day, having our annual prayer breakfast, reading scripture, talking about faith, our dependence upon God, and to hear an incredible message from a speaker that day. But little did we know that when we left that event that morning, that we would have to lean on our faith as much as we had, and to witness such a horrible tragedy that happened here in Oklahoma City. I can still remember heading back to the Capitol that morning after the prayer breakfast and getting back, and 30 minutes later hearing shocking news at 9:02 what had happened at the site. And today we're back, and we haven't forgotten, 21 years later, that there were people who suffered tremendous loss of life of their loved ones. There were people who were injured severely, and there were certainly so many men and women who faced evil with courage and stepped up to help that day. Our first responders, those who gave so generously during that moment in time that we will never forget, and we don't ever want to forget. We are here today to remember those who were lost and to pay tribute to those who displayed such great acts of heroism and courage to help those who had suffered so much. And I know that 21 years later, the pain is still there. And we know that it may seem like it was just yesterday that this occurred on April 19th, the same day, but it was 21 years ago. But we want the families to know, we want those who worked that day across the street to know that Oklahoma has not forgotten, and that we will never forget, that we will always remember the resiliency, the courage, the compassion, the forgiveness, the healing that took place over the last 21 years, and to remember the lives of those that were lost. And what came out of that day, that month, that year, and the years that followed was what became known as the Oklahoma Standard, and something that we are very proud of as Oklahomans. And I see the Oklahoma Standard exhibited time and time again anytime there's some type of challenge for our state, where there's been a storm that has come through, or maybe even in hard economic times like we're facing now. I see that Oklahoma Standard, that spirit of not giving up, of pressing forward and getting through whatever our challenge might be. It's become an incredible witness to the rest of the nation, that spirit, that Oklahoma Standard, that people from all across the world and frankly all across our nation has certainly admired and respected in the state of Oklahoma and in our people of Oklahoma. And so today we come to remember those who were lost, to stand by those who suffered the loss, to say thank you to all those who helped in those very challenging days and weeks and years after the Oklahoma City bombing, and to also rest assured that God is in control, God knows our needs, and that we can turn to Him with our faith to know that He will always have a good plan ahead of us as we move forward. And today is about continuing that move forward one day at a time, and we will always do that. So I'd like to finish today by asking all Oklahomans and whoever else may be watching from across the nation to take time today to say a prayer for those who have suffered, to say a prayer of thanks, and to ask for God to continue to bless us with His resiliency, His strength, His courage, His love, and His faith, so that Oklahoma will always continue to move forward as we have. Thank you so much, and may God bless you.
Thank you, Governor. Our museum continues to be a source of knowledge to all those affected by acts of terrorism. It's our Oklahoma Standard that continues showing the world how we chose to carry on with fortitude rather than live in fear. I'll never forget the leadership of Governor Keating when he brought together the community. He had the memorial service we all remember. He had his friend, his classmate from Georgetown come to Oklahoma City. Happened to be President Bill Clinton. They were friends from college. So you had the Republican governor, the Democratic president, all coming together. It was a beautiful sight. President Clinton said, "Oklahoma City, you broke our hearts, but you lifted our spirits." I'll never forget that feeling of all of us being together. And I think in Oklahoma City, we still are. The whole nation should observe what we've been able to do in Oklahoma City. The anniversary ceremony reminds us of the carefully coordinated efforts of our city, state, and national leaders, our first responders, our faith-based institutions, and the thousands of volunteers who responded that day. This coordinated effort continues today with our memorial serving as a resource to the Federal Bureau of Investigation and their fight against terrorism. For those that remember, the FBI director was here with us last year during our ceremony. On Friday of this past week, the Oklahoma City National Memorial Museum was presented with the FBI Director's Community Leadership Award from James Comey for continuing efforts to counter terrorism through education and building stronger and safer communities all over the state, all over the country, all over the world. We serve as an example. It reminds us our story is as relevant today as it was 21 years ago. This place, this sacred ground, is recognized nationally. The work done around this event is recognized nationally. The nomination of one of the top Justice Department officials who worked the case, Merrick Garland, to the United States Supreme Court shows us the work done here is still of critical importance to our country every single day. While in Washington, D.C., our team from our memorial and museum was invited to the White House where President Obama handed our executive director, Kerry Watkins, a special note, a letter of remembrance that I'd like to read to you right now. On April 19, 1995, as millions of people around our country began their day, the bustle of Oklahoma City came to a halt, and our nation was shaken to its core. The Oklahoma City bombing claimed the lives of 168 men, women, and children, and injured hundreds more. The terrorists who committed this heinous act intended to divide our country, but instead they were met with our unwavering resolve. Guided by a strong moral compass and an inclination to do good, first responders, relief workers, law enforcement officials, and ordinary citizens rushed to the scene. Their selfless acts serve as a reminder of the power of the human spirit to unite us even in the most trying times. And because of the efforts of dedicated professionals who sought to ensure this crime did not go unanswered, the perpetrators were found, investigated, and brought to justice. We will never forget the innocent souls taken from us that day, nor will we forget the resilience the survivors demonstrated in the wake of this unspeakable tragedy. Refusing to succumb to fear, people went back to work within days of the bombing, and the years that would follow, a community of friends and neighbors came together to lift each other up. The bombing of the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building reminds us that in times of need, Americans of all backgrounds can join in common purpose to shape a safer and more peaceful tomorrow. Michelle and I join in paying tribute to those we lost 21 years ago, and we send our thoughts and prayers to the survivors and to the inspiring people of Oklahoma City. Signed, Barack Obama, President of the United States of America. It is the continued support of our president and people around the world that reminds us that we are not alone. We are not alone.
That you will be with me when I'm standing in the fire. I will not be overcome. Through the valley of the shadow, breaking through the dark of night will not overtake me. I am pressing into you, Lord. You fight my every battle. Oh, and I will not fear. I redeem me, you call me as your own. You amaze me, redeem me, you call me as your own. You're my strength, you're my defender. You're my refuge in the storm. Through these trials, you've always been faithful. You bring healing to my soul. I am not alone. I am not alone. You will go before me. You will never leave me. I am not alone. No, I'm not alone. You will go before me, and you will never leave me. I am not alone. I am not alone. You will go before me. You will never leave me. I am not alone. I am not alone. You will go before me, and you will never leave me.
Now comes the most important part of our whole ceremony, remembering the 168 people who were killed. As is our custom, we ask that everyone stay here for every name to be read before we go across the street to the memorial. Thank you.
We come to remember those from the Oklahoma Water Resources Board building. Trudy Jean Rigney, Robert N. Chipman. We remember those from the Athenian Building Job Corps. Catherine Elizabeth Ridley, Anita Christine Hightower. We remember rescue worker Rebecca Needham Anderson.
We remember those who were killed in the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building, U.S. Secret Service, 9th floor. Alan G. Witcher, Kathy Lynn Seidel, my grandmother, Linda G. McKinney, Mickey B. Maroney, Donald Ray Leonard, Cynthia L. Brown.
We remember our friends and family with the Drug Enforcement Administration, 9th floor. Kenneth Glenn McCullough, Carrie Ann Lenz, baby Michael James Lenz III, Rona Lynn Kuhner Chafee, my sister Carol June Chip Fields, Shelley D. Bland. We remember those who were killed in the Department of Housing and Urban Development, 8th floor. Clarence Eugene Wilson, Sr., Francis Fran Ann Williams, Michael D. Weaver, David Jack Walker, Jules A. Valdez, Leora Lee Sells, Lanny Lee David Scroggins, Antonio Tony C. Reyes, Dr. George Michael Howard, DVM, Susan Jane Farrell, Kimberly K. Clark.
We continue to remember our friends and family with the Department of Housing and Urban Development. Donald Earl Burns, Sr. David Neil Burkett. Peter R. Avillanosa. My father, Ted L. Allen. Joe Ann Wittenberg. John Carl Van Ness III. John Thomas Stewart. Terry Smith Rees. Patricia Ann Nix. Betsy J. Beebe McConnell. James A. McCarthy II.
We continue to remember our friends and family from the Department of Housing and Urban Development. Mary Leisure Renty. Teresa Lee Taylor Lauderdale. Anne Krimberg. Thompson Eugene Jean Hodges, Jr. J. Colleen Giles. Linda Louise Florence. Judy J. Fro Fisher. Castine Brooks Hearn Devereaux. Diana Lynn Day. Kim R. Cousins. Andrea Yvette Blanton. Diane E. Hollingsworth Althouse. Paul Gregory Beatty Brocksterman.
We remember our friends of the U.S. Marine Corps Recruiting 6th Floor. Captain Randolph A. Guzman, United States Marine Corps. Sergeant Benjamin Lorenzo Davis, United States Marine Corps. We remember those with U.S. Customs 5th floor. My father, Claude Arthur Medeiros, Senior Special Agent, and Paul D. Ice, Senior Special Agent.
We remember our friends and family with the Department of Agriculture 5th floor. Rita Bender Long. Carol Sue Khalil. Doris Adele Higginbottom. Richard Dick Cummins. My mother, Dr. Margaret L. Peggy Clark. James E. Bowles. Olin Burl Bloomer.
We remember those with the U.S. Army Recruiting Battalion, 4th floor. Wanda Lee Watkins. Kayla Marie Titsworth. Dolores D. Stratton. Victoria Vicky L. Son. John C. Moss III. Peggy Louise Holland. My daughter, Karen Gist Carr. Sergeant First Class Lola Bolden, U.S. Army.
We remember our friends with the Department of Transportation, Federal Highway, 4th floor. John A. Youngblood. Johnny Allen Wade. Rick L. Tomlin. Michelle A. Reeder. Jerry Lee Parker. Renata Ann Newberry Woodbridge. James K. Martin. Larry James Jones. Michael Carrillo. Mark Allen Bolte. Lucio Alleman, Jr. We remember our friends and family with the Federal Employees Credit Union, 3rd floor. Teresa Jo Mathis Wharton. Virginia M. Thompson. Victoria Jeanette Texter. Karen Howell Shepard. Sonia Lynn Sanders. My daughter, Christy Rosas. Claudine Ritter. Jill Diane Randolph.
We continue to remember our friends and family with the Federal Employees Credit Union. Frankie Ann Merrill. My sister, Claudette Duke Meek. Kathy Cagle Linen. Valerie Jo Kelch. Alvin J. Justice, Christy Yolanda Jenkins, Robin Ann Huff, and baby Amber Denise Huff. Linda Colleen Housley, Sheila R. Giger Driver, and baby Gregory N. Driver II. Jamie Falkowski Ginzer, Kathy A. Finley, Kimberly Ruth Burgess, Woodrow Clifford Woody Brady. We remember our friends and family with the Defense Security Service, 3rd floor, Robert G. Westbury, Larry L. Turner, Norma Jean Johnson, Peter L. DeMaster, Harley Richard Cottingham. We remember our visitor on the 2nd floor, Scott D. Williams.
We remember our friends and family from the America's Kids Child Development Center, 2nd floor. Colton Wade Smith, Chase Dalton Smith, Dominique Reve Johnson London, Blake Ryan Kennedy.
Wanda Lee Howell, Kevin Lee Gotchell II, Tevin DeAndre Garrett, Tyler Santoy, Eves. We continue to remember our friends and family from America Kids Child Development Center, 2nd floor. Brenda Faye Daniels, J.C. Ray Cohen, Elijah S. Coverdale, Aaron M. Coverdale, and our son
and grandson,
Antonio Ansara Cooper, Jr.
Anthony Christopher Cooper II, Dana Leanne Cooper, Zachary Taylor Shuck Bass, Danielle Nicole Bell, Miss Bailey Almond.
We remember our family and friends from General Services Administration, 1st floor. My dad
and my grandpa,
Michael L. Loudenslager.
Stephen Douglas Curry.
We remember our friends from the Social Security Administration, 1st floor. Sharon Louise Wood Chestnut.
W. Stephen Williams.
Julie Marie Welch.
Robert N. Walker, Jr.
Luther H. Trainer. LaRue A. Trainer.
Michael George Thompson. Charlotte Andrea Lewis Thomas.
Emilio Tapia.
We continue to remember our friends and family from the Social Security Administration. Eula Lee Mitchell, Derwin W. Miller, Courtney J. McRaven, Reverend Gilbert X. Martinez, Robert Lee Lester Jr., Aurelia Donna Lester, Airman First Class Lakeisha Richardson Levy, Raymond Lee Johnson, Jean Nutting Hurlburt, Dr. Charles E. Hurlburt, Thomas Lynn Hawthorne Sr.
We continue to remember our friends and family at the Social Security Administration first floor. Our uncle, Ronald Vernon Harding Sr. Cheryl E. Hammond, Ethel L. Griffin, Margaret Betterton Goodson, Laura Jane Garrison, Mary Ann Fritzler, Don Fritzler, Ashley Megan Eccles, Catherine Louise Cregan, Gabrielle D.L. Bruce.
We continue to remember our friends and family with the Social Security Administration first floor. Peachlin Bradley, Carol Louise Bowers, Cassandra K. Booker, Olita C. Biddy, Piola Battle, Calvin Battle, Sandra G. Sandy Avery, Pamela Cleveland Argo, Richard A. Allen, Teresa Antoinette Alexander.
For those sitting in the back, perhaps you couldn't hear, but down here, there's a couple of babies crying throughout the ceremony. And I'm not going to quote any poetry, but Walt Whitman once said, "A baby is God's opinion that the world should go on." So thank you for having the babies here today. I can't help but say to you, we have a lot of survivors here today, but the survivors, the volunteers, the readers that are here today were here last night, rehearsing, if you will, practicing, going through all this. I know it takes a lot of courage to be here to do this, and I want to thank you for what you're doing. They're just volunteers, but they want to be here for all the right reasons, to remember forever what happened 21 years ago. So thank you. Our work is not done. It is more important now than ever before. We must continue teaching the next generation by using our new learning lab across the street. You'll see it in the museum today. It integrates systems and technology used in the bombing and recovery through science, technology, engineering, and math. A STEM-related exhibit, if you will. We interrelate all that with the history of the bombing, connecting the past with the future, encouraging students that weren't even born 21 years ago to understand the lessons learned from April 19th. Lessons that we'll teach forever. As you visit the chairs today, you will see the wreaths on each of the 168 chairs that were left on Saturday when 2,000 motorcycles came here in the Ride to Remember. They placed each wreath on the chairs. And just last night, thousands of fans attending the Oklahoma City Thunder playoff game received a wristband, an Oklahoma Standard wristband, which asked them and asked each of us to commit to acts of service, honor, and kindness. Indeed, the Oklahoma Standard endures forever. We invite you to visit the museum today that will remain open until 5 o'clock. Admittance is complimentary today, free admission, thanks to Cox Communications. We thank New Leaf Floors for providing the flowers that adorn all 168 chairs. We invite you to come out this weekend, this Sunday, folks, for the 16th annual Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon, the magnificent Memorial Marathon. Already 23,000 runners signed up. Come cheer on our marathoners who run to never forget, who run to never forget. They run in honor of those who were killed, those who survived, and those who were changed forever. Thank you for joining us for our 21st annual ceremony. May our Oklahoma City National Memorial Museum be a place of history, reflection, and memories that will remain and endure forever and ever and ever. Thank you for being here today.
The ceremony on sacred soil starting out with 168 seconds of silence, ending with the reading of 168 names to commemorate the bombing that occurred here 21 years ago in downtown Oklahoma City.
Family and friends now leaving the church, going across the street to visit the memorial and museum. They are going to reflect and remember as they visit those 168 chairs. You see the governor leaving there with her husband and all of the family, the friends, Mike Turpin, who is the chairman of the Oklahoma City National Memorial and Museum, leaving there to go reflect and remember the victims, ages 3 months to 73 years old.
Keeping the victims, the survivors in our thoughts today as we talk about the 168 people who lost their lives, including 19 children. The chairs there at the Memorial Museum, emblematic of the youngest lives lost and all of those who we continue to count in our thoughts and prayers. We're talking about the deadliest terror attack on U.S. soil until 9/11 that occurred right here in the heart of Oklahoma City.
And during that ceremony, they also mentioned Assistant Oklahoma Fire Chief John Hanson, and we would be remiss not to at least acknowledge him today as well. He passed away last week from cancer, but those of you who were here 21 years ago will remember his face and remember his voice. He became a source of information for the media, but more than that, he became a voice of comfort. So they're also going to have a 1995 fire truck out there as we remember him as well. But 168 lives lost today, 21 years ago. Frank Keating was the governor. Bill Clinton was the president of the United States. And just to put things in perspective, the impact that this had, 1,800 911 calls were made that day, and we didn't have cell phones. So everyone reaching their phone, going to their house to call, figure out what's going on, people need help, people turning their cars into a makeshift ambulance to do whatever they can.
People rushed into the danger to help fellow Oklahomans that day. You saw Police Chief Bill City, who was actually the spokesperson for the police department at the time, also serving as a source of comfort for the city, for the state, for the nation, as we were rocked by this tragedy. Abby and I, native Oklahomans, both of us remember 1995, remember this day. It's crystallized in our memory as it is in many of yours. So we think about the families today, the survivors, those lives lost, and we know how difficult of a feat it was for a lot of those readers to get up and talk about their family members, about their loved ones, their friends who they lost on this day.
I interviewed Austin Allen last year for the 20th anniversary of the Oklahoma City bombing. His father was Ted Allen, who lost his life, and he has said to honor his father, he continues to live his father's legacy. That is really the feeling for everyone affected by this. Our legacy, their legacy lives on through us.
From
Oklahoma
tragedy
strong.
to triumph here.